We have had an incredible last few days here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report covering the 2025 NFL Draft. And we are not slowing down at all the rest of this offseason, folks, as we bring you multiple videos a day, live shows each and every Tuesday, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. I want to make sure every member of the kingdom is subscribed to the channel. We are closing in on 71,500 subscribers on the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free. Doesn't cost you a thing. YouTube.com/Chiefs TV for the latest happenings on your Kansas City Chiefs all year long. And we'll get started with today's show. When Mad Mel Kiper wasn't angry about his guy Shedeur Sanders slipping to the fifth round, he was very complimentary about your Kansas City Chiefs. On today's program, we will reveal Mel Kiper's official draft grade for the Chiefs and his thoughts on what Brett Veach pulled off in the 2025 draft. I'll also give you my reaction to what Mel had to say coming up here in just a bit. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. Mel's overall grade for the Kansas City Chiefs was a B+. And I got to say, I had an A on this draft. Mel goes a B+, but based on what you're about to hear from Mel, it's a very respectable B+. And although I disagree with his reasoning of why he gave them a B+ as opposed to an A, I see where he's coming from. We'll explain that here in just a bit. Entering the draft, according to Mel Kiper Jr., the top needs for Kansas City were the offensive tackle position, defensive tackle, running back, and tight end. So how did Kansas City do? Let's go over the draft results for the Kansas City Chiefs. First round, they selected Josh Simmons, the offensive lineman from Ohio State. And then in the second round, they snagged up Omar Norman-Lott, the defensive tackle from Tennessee. Then in round 3, at pick 66, just a couple of picks after 63, they snagged up Ashton Gillotte, the edge rusher from Louisville. And then they followed it up with one of my favorite picks of this entire draft at 95, going with Nohl Williams, the corner from Cal. 3 more picks for Kansas City. The fourth round, they were able to pick up Jalen Royals, the wide receiver from Utah State, at 133. They followed that up with a fifth-round pick at 156 with Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker from Oregon, who I think has some real potential. And then their last pick of the draft, they drafted Brashard Smith, running back from SMU. You got to know Clark Hunt's pretty happy getting an SMU pony added to the mix. So let's start with what Mel had to say on the Chiefs draft class and his draft grade. There's no way the Chiefs could exit the first 2 days of the draft without some serious offensive line improvements. Even while slotted to pick down the board at number 31, it doesn't take a brilliant football mind to watch last season's Super Bowl, and no pass protection was a major factor in Kansas City's blowout loss to Philadelphia. The Chiefs paid Jalen more starting left tackle money in free agency, but he was a backup last season, and Jawan Taylor hasn't exactly been set and forget at right tackle. Even the once mighty interior took a hit this offseason when GM Brett Veach traded Joe Thuney to Chicago. Not only did the Chiefs do something about it late on day one, they also picked up an extra fifth-rounder. They traded back one spot with the Eagles and finished round 1 with Josh Simmons, who might have been the top offensive tackle in the class if not for a knee injury in the middle of last season. He's terrific in pass protection and came at great value. I had him number 15 on my big board. Even if he's not quite ready for training camp, the Chiefs have more in Taylor. Once Simmons is fully healthy, he could be the answer as Patrick Mahomes' blindside protector. I'm all in on Simmons. As Mel mentioned there, I think you're looking at somebody that, if he's healthy, could very well end up being the best offensive lineman in this year's draft. And you want to talk about the impact that he had. Even with the injury last season, he still, in 300 snaps, was a third-team All-Big Ten selection. His overall grade was solid with a 74.4. Pass blocking was outstanding with an 82.0. Didn't allow a single sack. Decent run block grade at 68.7. He's got the size you're looking for at 6'4", 317. There's talk that he could play tackle, could play guard, whatever it may be with Jalen Moore there, you're going to find a spot for him one way or another. The scouting report on him goes as follows: a very good athlete and mover with a quality frame and solid player. Limited his penalties year over year at Ohio State. That was something he struggled with early on in his career, with some careless penalties at San Diego State. Flashes of rawness paired with a knee injury from last season, that's got to be cleared. But overall, I think he's a terrific prospect. Do you agree with Mel Kiper Jr.'s B-plus draft grade for Kansas City? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Type Y for yes, N for no. Chime in the comments section below. More from Mel Kiper Jr. on the Chiefs picks. The Chiefs got a pass rushing 3 technique in Omar Norman-Lott, penetrating edge rusher in Ashton, Gillotte, and ball hawking corner Nohl Williams on day 2. They reached for Norman-Lott. My 142 player went at number 63, but he fills a need. Now, I got to tell you, when it comes to the 2 picks of Norman-Lott and Williams, I love these picks for Kansas City. I disagree with Mel that Norman-Lott was a reach there in the second round, because I think that a lot of teams, contrary to what Mel Kiper may think, well, he's still gushing over fifth-round pick Shedeur Sanders. He had the number 1 quarterback in this draft. Norman-Lott had a second-round grade, according to most folks out there. I think they did good to go with Norman-Lott there. And you look at his numbers: 4 sacks, 4 TFLs, 27 pressures, made an impact, even if it wasn't there statistically with the double teams that he took on. And now you add depth behind Chris Jones. Chris Jones not getting any younger. He needs to take some more plays off to stay fresh and stay healthy. Norman-Lott is a good alternative, a good solution for that. Checks in at 6'1", 303. That'll work for me there. Just 23 years old. His scouting report: good athletic ability with burst and plus length and massive hands. 3-tech player who might be a third-down situational player in the NFL. Undersized and lacks great power at defensive tackle. Now, Nohl Williams. You don't have to be an expert to just see these numbers and say, oh, Lord, there's a fire. We got to run for our lives here. 7 interceptions last season, folks. 17 pass breakups, 52 tackles, 1 TFL, and he made a seamless transition from the Pac-12 to the ACC. Nohl Williams was good everywhere. Size looks solid as well. 6 foot, 199, just 22 years of age, and now you have some options at this corner position where Kansas City struggled last year after Jalen Watson went down. You get Watson fully healthy now. We don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not. We do know that they are going to re-sign Trent McDuffie. We're not worried about that. But you got Christian Fulton in the mix. Now I got some depth there. And Williams is a guy that should be able to play immediately. More on Williams in our scouting report. Mainly an outside corner with plenty of production, including 7 interceptions last season. And with McDuffie likely moving back to the nickel spot, that works out great that he's mainly an outside guy. Offers some press man ability in the NFL. Lacks elite size and has an inconsistent run defender. Who was your favorite Chiefs draft pick? If you had to give me one name, who would it be and why? Weigh in the comments section and let us know who your favorite was here in 2025. We got Chiefs rookie jerseys on sale now for Josh Simmons and plenty of others, along with some of your favorite Kansas City Chiefs players like Patrick Mahomes, all at the same link, chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. Now, here's how this works. You see the number 1 there for him being a first-round draft pick. Newsflash, he is not going to wear the number 1. That belongs to Xavier Worthy, and not to mention he's an offensive lineman. But when we do know his number, that'll be the jersey you get, all right? Once we know that jersey number, that'll be the one you get. You can get this jersey while supplies last. They're going to be going fast here, folks. Chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. More from Mel Kiper Jr., this time talking about Ashton Gillotte. He said this: I love Gillotte's game, and first draft fans know that. Plugging his podcast. Goodness gracious. I had him as one of my Orange Crushers this year. What does that even mean? And Williams picked off 7 passes to lead the FBS last season. Nice little Friday night for Veach and company. Now, personally, I'm not as high on Gillotte as Mel and others are. This was my least favorite draft pick that Brett Veach and company made. His production fell off significantly from what it was in 2023. And to me, that's a bit of a red flag. That's concerning. Now, his pressure rate stayed the same, but John Gruden, he'll be the first to tell you, I don't want to hear about pressures. I want sacks. Bring the guy down. What happened? What happened, Gillotte? I need an answer. Why did the sack production go down as much as it did? 4.5 sacks this past season, 57 pressures, 10 TFLs, 43 tackles. Checks in about 6'2", 7'8", so he's really 6'3", with a good pair of Nikes on. And at 264, 22 years old, out of Boca Raton, Florida. His scouting reports, a high motor along with a good burst to convert speed to power. Production fell off last season, though the pressure rate did not. Average athlete with arm length questions there. So, do you believe in Ashton, Gillotte? If you do, type B for believe. If not, if you're a little skeptical like me, a little sus, as the kids may say, type D for don't. Weigh in and let us know in the comments section. More from Mel. Let's talk Jalen Royals now, the Kansas City Royals' favorite draft pick. Kansas City pivoted back to offense Friday, getting a vertical receiver in Jalen Royals and a physical running back, Rashard Smith. Does anyone want to tell Mel that happened on Saturday? The Royals pick in particular was great. He was number 72 on my board, but KC got him at 133 overall. He scored 21 touchdowns over the past 2 seasons, and Smith is a converted receiver with 4.39 speed. Mahomes has to be pleased. I think Royals and Smith are sneaky good. I think that Royals is going to play immediately in this Chiefs offense. Everybody can wave goodbye to Sky Moore. I think Royals with that speed is going to play a pivotal role. We heard Patrick Mahomes say just a few days ago that he wants to stretch the field more. Well, now you got some serious speed to do it. You got Royals who runs a 4.3. You got Xavier Worthy running a 4.2. You got Hollywood Brown with his speed, and then you got our guy Rashee Rice who can run 100 miles an hour in a car. You got some real speed that you can work with to really just beat defenses. And who are you going to cover? I mean, think about all the attention that Travis Kelce has gotten over the years. Okay, double team Kelce, fine. Well, we might have Royals or somebody else beat you just straight up. You're going to leave somebody open. There's going to be too many receivers to cover. 15 yards of reception, 834 yards last year off 55 catches in just 7 games played. Size is fine, too, at 6'2", 205. And his scouting report goes like this. Good speed and quickness with potential to make teams pay after the catch. Really good in contested catch situations, too, although it came against lesser competition. Still has some learning to do as a route runner. Meanwhile, Rashard Smith, running back out of SMU, former wide receiver turned running back. And think about this. Don't underestimate the fact that he was a 7th-round pick and write him off just yet. You know who else was a 7th-round pick a couple years ago? A guy by the name of Isaiah Pacheco, all right? Rashard Smith also, too, with the kick return experience that goes exactly back to what Brett Veach had said last week, that they were looking to draft somebody to help out if they were going to get a running back, not just in the run game, but also in special teams as well. So Rashard Smith will help out there. Over 1,300 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns, good pass catcher as well. A little small, 5'9", 7/8", and 194 is his weight there. 22 years old, out of Richmond Heights, Florida. Heavy zone runner paired with dynamic pass catching ability. Could be an explosive option in a pairing with a more traditional runner. Sounds like Pacheco. Pass blocking could be an issue in the NFL. And think about this, too. Is there another coach in the NFL that loves pass-catching running backs more than Andy Reid? The answer is no. So Andy's going to use him for sure. I'm pretty confident about that. Final thoughts from Mad Mel Kiper. The only thing that kept Kansas City from a coveted A was not taking a tight end. Travis Kelce is 35 years old now, so the Chiefs' need is heir apparent. And here's my counter to that, Mel, is they drafted Jared Wiley last year. And Jared Wiley was out pretty much the entire season. He's coming off an ACL injury. He drew comparisons to Travis Kelce. Let's see what Jared Wiley can do. If Jared Wiley's not good enough, then you go get a tight end next year. And you still got Noah Gray there as well. So I can live with not drafting a tight end because you pretty much took a redshirt year on Jared Wiley. So did Mel forget about that? Did he forget that Jared Wiley exists? Let's see what he can do. Veach does it again. Excellent draft. I thought he did a great job, and I think there's a lot of reason to be hopeful and optimistic about this team going into 2025. For continuing Chiefs offseason coverage, subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.